Let's get back into it. Yet another game, cast right after the last upload. The chat scale is still super big. I'm actually not used to the chat UI being this large. I've set it to on replay I have the default 50, which is normal size, and when I play League I have my chat interface set to 0% scaling, so it's actually just a tiny box on the side. I'm not used to the chat box being this big. It's actually kind of jarring to look at. But regardless, the matchups, we're gonna have Graves top going up against the Singed. Elise is gonna catch out the Singe here, getting a pretty early kill maybe. Oh, she did start W, no paralyzing bite to get that kill. But the Singe is being forced back. Dark Seal with a potion. He's actually got 4 items in starting inventory. Ooh. We're gonna have Elise by jungling, Mordekaiser Lux mid, and the bottom lane is gonna be Ashe Braum going up against the Jinx Bard. I'm gonna go on record right now and just say I hate Ashe. I think she is... people play her because, yeah, she's the utility ADC. She provides the long distance engage, she provides the slow, she provides the kite. I don't like her. She just does too little damage for my liking. Like, obviously I'm not claiming she's trash or anything. Obviously she's not. She is an amazing utility pick, and in the right team comp can really shine. My only complaint with Ashe is a lot of times she gets picked in team comps that really don't need it. Alright, in bot lane we're gonna have Ashe trading up against the Jinx. This is traditionally a lane that super does not favor the Jinx. It's actually a third nasty counter pick for the Jinx. She can't really do much against an Ashe lane. You can kind of see why early on, with very little intervention, the Jinx gets stunned up, has to use both her summoners just to get out. Now the Braum. Ashe does hit level 2. Oh, but the Braum, he didn't Q the Bard. The Bard will still flash out. He'll be fine. He'll expend most of his summoners. So now red team bot lane have no summoner spells. But they are alive, so that says something. And there's the Vi. She's coming in. She wants to get a punch off, but she can't. Blue team quick on the draw. They do bail their off bot lane back out in time. And this is such a stark summoner difference here. You're gonna have blue team bot lane with all 4 sums up versus red team bot lane with none of their sums up. And still, this is going to be a lane that favors Ashe in the laning phase here. Volley is something that Jinx just isn't built to handle. It does look very bleak here. And now Y being topside, I don't think bot lanes for the red team is going to have a particularly good time this game, seems like. The Graves get flung back here by the Singe. The Singe has to be careful. He might find it difficult to siege onto the Graves just because poison exists. And holding that lane position might be bad. And there's the Elise. She's coming in for a dive in the back. The Ashe is tanking the tower shot. First blood does go to the Elise. But the Braum, he's tanking. And he's still sitting under the tower having a picnic. And that's going to be a very dead Braum. And the Bard, he gets a double kill. With insult to injury, Elise will also lose her double buffs. And meanwhile, mid lane, Mordekaiser pulls Lux back in the fight that he can't win. The Ignite mercifully does not kill him off. Leaves him on next to no health. He'll be just fine though. And Graves top lane still farming up against the Singed. They're tied in gold lead, all things considered. Giving over the double kill to Bard is admittedly disastrous. Jinx did get enough assist gold for a pickaxe. Just imagine if one less person died, she might not have been able to afford that. The Ashe will still get that Vamp Scepter, going for the Blade of the Rune King. So overall, while the dive could have been way cleaner, Jinx is still on the back foot as a result of that sequence, as Ashe was the only survivor and your ADC didn't really lose the gold EXP from having not died. The Graves is actually half a level approximately behind the Singe. She needs to be careful. Wave clear above all here. Mordekaiser coming in for an aggressive trade on the Lux, but he is a level down. The Elise is here. Can she land the cocoon? No, she cannot. Their claw is the only thing that can drag her back. Flash forward by the Lux and the flash Q. The Mordekaiser, he needs to eat his shield to try to get some taking this. No, he absorbs his shield and he is just going to die. Maybe he did get it. Maybe he did tank it with the shield, but it seems like he ate it a little early. The Lux will still kill him. I don't think the Mord could have survived that tower dive actually. So far it's been a lot of super high aggression from blue team. All of their death have been to towers as opposed to red team champions so far. At least almost repeating that as well. Just jumping face first into the Vi. Vi will pick up her Oracle Lens, a very early Oracle Lens on the back. 5 minutes in. In about a minute and a half, her buffs will respawn, and that's when she's expected to hit level 6. And usually that's when the Vi becomes super active with Assault and Battery. It is a very potent lockdown ability. You can use it to force a lot of ganks that are all around the map. She is going to run face first into an Elise right now. Oh, the Vi, she's punching. She's going. Ooh, the Bard does land the stun. Ash will kill off the Vi. The Jinx will be stunned up next. If she can land one more auto, no, the spider is on fire and the spider will die. But the Jinx, Mordekaiser needs to try to get out. The Lux Pucks is level 6. Lux Pucks? Spazzy reference, I guess. Luxy Pucks. Shout out from the good old days. The Graves is punching holes into the Singed armor. He is still down in CS here. He is going for a decently aggressive trade onto the Singe, but the Singe, he might be getting creep blocked here. The poison is still doing a number. Collateral damage gets him out, but no, he's run out of damage. The Elise, however, will flash over, not even gonna repel, just to make the kill extra fast. 600 gold ahead here for blue team, 7.5 minutes in. They are off to a very good lead. Mordekaiser trying to do some wave clear, but he's struggling here. The Lux Light Binding will land, and there it is. The final spark comes out. The damage is there. The burst comes down. Mordekaiser already almost 20 CS behind. Just gets solo killed by Lux. Insult to injury is what that is. 400 gold ahead here for blue team. Their lead is dwindling. Now they need to try to make some plays. Now the Elise is gonna come in, the stun will, the root will land, everything is here. She needs to land the cocoon, but she can't land in the flash forward from the Vi. She will take one back, and with that kill, red team evens up the gold. The Ash will get stunned up, but they're turning damage on the Jinx. Braum will flash forward, he needs an auto down. The stacks are only just now being applied, and the Jinx will not be stunned up. The Braum flashes forward for no reason, and the Jinx makes it out safe and sound. The Ash is still decently strong compared to the Jinx, but the problem, they have bigger problems here. They have bigger problems here. Now the Vi, she's coming back in for round 2, and there it is. But the Mordekaiser instantly pops the Death Realm, going in for the 1v2, and the Lux is burning down inside the Death Realm. Vi will commit Assault and Battery, but that is not the fight she can win. The Vi needs to get away, but she is cocooned. The Spiderlings claim that kill, and suddenly the mid gank, whereas worked so well in the past, suddenly goes awry. Blue team takes 2 back on their own. Very scrappy so far, 9 minutes into the game. The Graves still farming up top. The Singe has arrived. He has items. I don't know what he's building. I actually don't know what he's building, but he's got items. That's my commentary. The Elise is going for the Scuttle Crab in the river. Mordekaiser taking some tower shots on the wave clear. He's still 20 CS behind. He needs to fix the CS problem real quick with only a Kindle Gem in inventory. He's working on what appears to be Visage first. A tank moored mid, not something you see every day. Blue team is gonna take the Ocean Drake, but the Graves is breathing in the mustard gas as he's running down the Singe, and the CC chain goes on perfectly on the Vi. They do kill off the jungler and secure the dragon. But top lane is actually not looking so good for this Graves. The Cosmic Binding will not lash, but the Cocoon sure will. There is no damage to really follow up here. Singe is gonna pop the Insanity Potion and the Fling, but he walks a little bit too far forward and the turret shot will kill him off. The Graves is just safe. Cocoon in the back. Elise is just proxying Red Wave for some reason. The rappel does go up into the air. Now she needs to get out. The rocket is here. Jinx claims the kill. She gets the double buffs. She gets the 450 shutdown. And the Temper Fate locks up the Ashe. She has no mana. She cannot chase down the Jinx. And here comes the Vi. Oh no! She face plants into a wall with the Vault Breaker. Ashe will immediately flash regardless. The Salt and Battery comes down onto the Braum. They're trying to lock him down. They do kill him off. Blue Smite onto the Ashe as well. She gets zapped for a slow. Cosmic Binding. They're just stacking slows on slows. She needs to try to make it out, but the Rocket will kill her off. The Jinx goes 2, 1, and 3. And now she's evened up the CS score as well. Now the Singe doing what he does best. He's proxying, but he is proxying in the face of a spider. She might not let this stand. There is a huge toad in the way, so she cannot throw out this Cocoon until now, but the stun is there. An easy kill onto the Graves. He is going to erase the Singe for the third time this game. What is he building? Why does he just have a blasting one and cloth armor and then Merc Treads? What is happening with his item build? Now Jinx does go back and pick up the Infinity Edge, and it's gonna go up against the Ashes Blade of the Rune King. Not a very favorable trade here for the Ashe. IE is much stronger as a standalone item here. They are even on the CS. Ashe does have one more kill. Jinx is the one with the bounty. She does have double buffs, although it is going to time out very soon. Her shopping trip took way too long. It took like more than half of the buff's duration on its own. The Claw will pull back the Lux, but the CS differential in mid, it's just getting worse and worse. The CS lead is slightly creeping up onto 40 CS lead here for the Lux. Now 21k is blue team's kill score gold. 500 gold behind here. I think honestly most of it is just coming from that CS gap. The Bard is also quite fed as well. So bot lane, red team bot lane, despite still not having a favorable matchup and really not doing too much, both of them still have a bounty. And it's a very easily claimable bounty here. The Elise has made a lot of really positive moves in the early game so far here. 4, 4, and 5, 81 CS. Compared to the Vi, who's actually just been dying a lot, forcing ganks that don't really work right now. Braum is gonna grab that cannon. Oh, will he? Yes, he will punch the cannon. Now the trade is coming down. The Crystal Arrow will land on the Bard, but the Temper Fate locks him up. But the Glacial Fissure locks Braum into a hero pose. He will be just fine. And here comes the Vi for a 1v3 cleanup. Not how you gank. The final spark will chip down the Ashe, and suddenly blue team bot lane super low. They do kill one shutdown, and the Flash Cocoon will completely whiff. Triple kill, however, to the Elise. The Jinx needs to make something happen. The crit from the Edge will kill off the Ashe. Last second flash from the Elise. She will claim a quadra kill for herself. A massively successful gank for her. But unfortunately, very little gold to the ADC, and she ended up dying in that fight as well. The Herald is going to be summoned, but just about 5 seconds too late as the turret plays have worn off. Regardless, this will be first tower for blue team, and suddenly they have one hell of a gold lead to work with. Now the Singe, he has to be careful. He does have the fling, he does have the glue. He could probably outplay a tower dive, but he is so low that it might not be worth it. And there's the Graves. He's coming in. He wants the killer punch. He will get it unless the creep block is not fair to him. He will flash and still die. Lol rip, he says in all chat. That is gonna be a whoopsie and a half if I ever seen it. 10 seconds out. I almost said minutes. 10 seconds out from the Mountain Drake spawn. There's the final spark. It locks on the Ashe. The electrocute proc is there as well. Ashe will kill the Lux. Very barely surviving, despite the skin of her teeth. That burst is not to be underestimated so far with Ludens and Sorkshu stun. Just 15 minutes in. Blue team is going to set up on a push here. Into the tower. The smack going face first onto the Vi. And right now, blue team, they're turning tail for the Dragon Pit. The Cocoon is going to come out, but it will not catch the Jinx. They do shut off the vision. Red team needs to try to make their way in if they want to contest this, but so far the call is likely just letting it go. The Cloud Rift is going to set in now. Braum is going to get locked up here behind enemy lines. He will be fine. He will hop to Elise and get himself out of there. And the Jinx Rocket committed for good measure, but finds nothing. Blue team seems geared up to do a serious push here in mid lane. They want that tower dead. And the Jinx, instead of defending lane, she's in the forest trying to chase out the invaders. They're trying real hard to fight for that pink, but they're not getting it. Enchanted Crystal Arrow nails the Bard. He will have to flash away. The Mordekaiser does overstep and step on a trap, but there's the Cinch. He's coming down. He's running havoc. The poison is there, doing basically no damage, really. Temper Fate will lock down the blue team, and they've been surrounded. The Cinch needs a fling. Can he get the fling off? He needs to do something instead of just running past the Ashe. Never mind. The poison is enough to finish her off. The Spellbook Singed comes up huge in that fight and actually kills 4 for nothing off that push. And now this red team's turn to counter push this out. 17 minutes in, the Graves is still solo pushing top lane. Can he get that tower? The Syndra's running top. He's mad. He wants it. One more shot from the Graves will finish it off. Will he chase for this kill? But there's a Bard coming. He has no way of knowing it, but there's a Bard. He does portal over. The Cosmic Binding will not stun. End of the line. Does a solid amount of chunk. The collateral damage gets flung back. The bullets are being blocked by the Bard. He can't finish the kill. Oh no, the Vi will come in. 4-4-4. A very unlucky kill score, but that is what the Vi will land herself at. 106 to 98. 99. Elise is still massively ahead of her jungling counterpart here. The problem right now is multifold. Red team has even the game back up off the back of that amazing team fight at mid. And now we have to reevaluate each team's strengths. Who can they place through? And right now, blue team has to place through an Ashe and has to place through an Elise. That's just the way it is right now. 8 5-on-5, 4 3-on-5. I mean, yeah. The Bard will try to clear out that ward. That ward was an eyesore for so long. An entire team fight precipitated off trying to get that ward alone. Now, interestingly, this is Bard's first item. Oh man, that... I mean, I'm not gonna say it's good or bad, but I will say it gives me some real Season 2, Season 3 vibes. Remember those days? I played support back in those days. It's... Depending on who you ask, it was either the... No, depending on almost everybody you asked, it was the dark times of support. Where you bought Shurelia's... No, you bought your GP5 items, you bought your Heart of Gold, you bought your Lucky Pick. And then you buy boots... And then Shurelia's, and then congratulations, your full build. And then the rest of your game, you carry like 15 words in your inventory. They took up 3 inventory slots. And that will be your build forever. Until the game was over. Man, like, I'm glad we don't live in those days anymore, but it was a much more, I guess, Dota Position 5-esque style of supporting back in the day. But even though the Position 5s had more items than that after a while. Even Dota now, Position 5 supports no longer have the poverty days. Remember when TP scrolls were like 3 digits amount of gold in Dota? Never mind. We're talking about a different game now. But the Rift Herald does drop at mid lane. The Vi will get killed off first, and suddenly blue team, they made their way into red team's base and they're tempted to kill it. The Lux will help out the Jinx with killing off the Graves, and the Jinx, she might be getting recess. The excited recess are coming through now. The Mort is the next victim. Blue team siege goes alright. They drop 3 bodies down for nothing. Temper Fate has locked down. The Jinx is shooting rockets into the Ashe, and she just cannot compete so far. But the Elise, she's fed. She can do damage to very low members. The Lux will finish one off, and the Singe will barely live with a shred of his life unless that minion auto kills him. No, he will not. He will be just fine. 3 for 5. Red team does win that team fight, but it could have gone a lot cleaner for them. They left the 2 hardest to kill members for last, and they did a number before going down. It was their valiant last stand. Obviously, didn't prevail, but made the most of what they were handed here. Gold lead still essentially dead even here, 21 to 21. Now, if you just saw the scoreboard with the tower count clipped out and the dragon count clipped out, you'd be forgiven for thinking that this was a completely even game. I do think the game right now still favors blue team, just because they have so much more of the map to work with. Red team is going to secure the first dragon of the game, but still, blue team is the team with a lot more map to play around with, and usually that is what you need to win. The momentum you can get off just having more towers up is not to be underestimated. There is a hidden, quote-unquote, gold lead that you must account for. And right now, if you factor that in, blue team is most certainly ahead in this game. Especially with that most recent Herald push. And you can see, without already doing much, they ballooned their gold lead up, and it's only gonna get higher and higher from this point onwards. So now it's really up to red team as the team playing with negative momentum to try to make something happen. Or the game will slowly slip away from their fingers. The light binding does land on the Mordekaiser, but the Lux has to be careful. The lockdown is there. The CC is not stacked, but it's good enough already. The Lux has nowhere to go. She'll be stunned up and killed off. That is essentially red team's carry right now. The Jinx is strong, but she's nowhere to be seen. The Graves will be caught out top thanks to 2 members here. But blue team, they're not going to let their fallen comrade lie. They are sending everybody they have to try to make this kill happen. The Singe is going to go down to the Spider first. And now what is the call? Is it Baron Nashor? Is it something else? Leandris does get picked up here by the Singe. Okay, so he did go for Rylai's. That's kind of what I thought, but where did his cloth armor go? I haven't checked his inventory in so long. Did he just sell it? And the Mordekaiser tries to kidnap the Vi, but to little avail. Blue team still needs to try to finish his Baron, but the Elise is in the pit. The Vi will die. Elise is still securing as she has a smite. She can kill it. Blue team secures Baron Nashor, and the Ashe flashes over. She's seeing red, and she wants to make it happen. And suddenly, 4 bodies on the ground, if you count the Singe. And the laser snipe! The laser snipe, it kills off the Braum. Lux will get one back on the board, and the Ashe has to try to get out with Baron buff. Sorry, Braum, Lux says, apologizing in off chat, and the Braum will just reply with a sad face. And you take what you can get, Lux. Especially with his second item Death Cap build. That is exceedingly greedy. Almost certainly not what you second item on, Lux. And I can only hope for her sake that it pays off. I would really much prefer something like an Oblivion Orb second. You don't even need to finish Morelos, you just need the Oblivion Orb. Ashe gonna grab some income for herself. She needs to work on that eye edge. The Jinx, she's picked up QSS for herself. The Vi is charging out the wall breaker, but she's gonna turn and smack the Graves in the face. He is gonna try to quick draw out, but he has no escape, and Vi combos him down. 7, 6, and 5 now is her score line, and the Bard might be cut out here, but the beautiful laser sends it down blue team. The Braum will block the brunt of the damage with himself, and the rest of blue team unfazed by it. Lux needs to try to reset her cooldowns fast. Final Spark is already a 3rd cooldown. It's such a low cooldown ability here. Now they just need to hold on for a minute longer. Singe! Oh, Singe is coming from behind, but he needs to try to cut the wave. Oh, he didn't cut the wave. And now it's up to red team to wave clear. The Elise Cocoon does go down onto the Singe. He is gonna run away, burning down a few spiders on the way out. And now he's gonna safely recall. Oh my god, that rocket crit almost kills Mordekaiser straight up. Now what is blue team's call? They're going to reset and take position around the bottom jungle. The Bard is going to wander up with the magical journey through a 1-inch wall. They're standing on top of a pink ward. They need to try to kill it. They need to deny vision. Temper Fate comes down, but it only locks down onto the very low Mordekaiser. Here comes the final spark. They do kill him off immediately, but the Vi is the next to go. The binding does hit onto 2, and now the Ashe is fighting a lot of people. Red team is just running down the avenue, trying to get some kills. The Graves is the next to go. The Jinx is unchecked. She's shooting, but she's out of mana. So is the Ashe. Can they make something happen here? The Elise has the Zions. The Ashe needs to come back and run protection. The Elise fashions through the dodger binding, and there it is, a beautiful bite. They do kill off everybody in red team. The Ashe will burn down Elise's thought. She's the last survivor. She might as well not have lived. Almost a double ace. Not close, says the Lux. I do disagree with that assessment. And now the Elise will chomp away at the Cloud Drake, being the only survivor here. Securing it, getting out. And now the game sets into a lull as we wait for respawn timers to come in from both sides. Ashe did finish her Infinity Edge. So now she's essentially tied on items with the Jinx, if not 1 ahead. She's exactly 1 item ahead, actually. An entire Blade of the Rune King on top of her. The Jinx, it does feel like she hasn't bought anything in forever. She's sitting on 2,000 gold. Why though? Sell your Dorans. Sell your pot. Get components to Mercurio if you have to. Get something. There's no point holding on to 2,000 gold. Especially with an inventory looking like that. And the Cocoon is going to land onto the Singe. The Q does come down to smash the Singe apart. He will make it out heavily battered and bruised. He'll be fine though. Now where's the Ashe? She's off on the side. Can she make anything happen here? Well, she needs to try to get a kill onto the Jinx, and there it is, so much damage. The Jinx even pops her QSS for some not discernible reason. She is gonna insta-buy Mercurio Scimitar. I mean, you could have just done that a while back, honestly. And there it is, the Assault and Battery comes down onto the Vi. She's gonna get flipped back. The Elise needs to try to run, and the Kidnap tries to save her, albeit briefly. The Poison will finish her off with the Singe. Runs into the Ashe for the easiest clean of all time. And the laser, not the laser, but the arrow will land onto the Lux. The laser will whiff to the side. Cosmic Binding will not do much to the Ashe. Bard is standing still. He's resigned to fate. He has nowhere to go. In fact, he quits the game. LOL, Braum says. And there is once again the surrender vote. Blue team takes the W. Congratulations to blue team.